Just Being Me podcast. Your girls, Margot and Mary. In a moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing to do. The worst thing you can do is do nothing. Theodore Roosevelt. We always want to do the right thing, but we do the wrong thing when we do not make a decision about what to do. Decisions have power. Decisions have force. They usually take us to the exact place we need to be, exactly the way we need to get there. It is the wavering back and forth that is dangerous. It places us at the mercy of events. We fall prey to the choices people make for us. Since time and opportunity waits for no one, our lives will not stand still until we figure out what to do. The rightness of the decision is based on the ability to make the decision. When we weigh what we want against what we will do, a decision can be an effortless event. We must know what we will and will not do, what we can do and choose not to do, and decide in a harmony with the things we know. The freedom from making a decision can only come after we have made the decision. Today I decide to be free from all decisions. Yes. I want to decide shit.
I like that.
Hey y'all, welcome to episode 91 of the Just Being Me podcast. We want to thank you all for being here all the time, or when you're here. We love that you are here. Hey, Miss Mary on the box.
Hello.
How
are you?
She's here on the box, y'all. We want to say thank you guys for tuning in to last week. Continue to spread the word to your friends and family about the podcast. We are growing every week. I am so proud of us. So thank you so much. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, or you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Podcast Addicts, and Amazon Music under podcast. All right, let's just jump into our weekend. What you do this weekend? What you do this weekend, Miss Mary?
Well, I went out. Had my little creative juices going. I went to Joann's and looked around. Spent some time out there at Joann's. Trying to figure out what I want to do. And then I went and upgraded my phone.
Yay!
Upgraded. And what else did I do? Watched a lot of TV. Watched some things that were coming on. Watched that. That was about it. Walked around the mall a little bit. Just trying to figure out stuff. Mm-hmm. And then that was basically it. It's kind of quiet. It was kind of quiet.
Those are good weekends when it's quiet.
Yeah. What about you, lady?
I had a quiet weekend as well. It was quiet in the beginning, but we went out to a restaurant on Saturday for the first time since the world seems like it wants to open back up. So one of my guys' son's birthday or whatever, they had it at Fire and Ice in Anaheim. So it was like the little promenade or whatever where they have the House of Blues. It's over there, right across from the House of Blues. It was nice, and there was a lot of people out. There was a restaurant, I can't remember the name. It was a Mexican food restaurant. That place had a line going around and down. I was like, what's happening at that restaurant? And it was full on the inside. I didn't see no social distance. I just seen people like regular day, like BC before COVID. Like, it was a regular situation. I was like, I don't see nobody spaced out or nothing like that. And it was a long line for them to get in.
They must have some very good food.
They must have some really good food. They had really good music because they were playing. You could hear the music. They had a DJ, and then they had like a mariachi band playing. It was really good. I mean, it was really cool. So I was like, okay. But where we went to Fire and Ice, they had a DJ where we sat at, and he played really good. I love a good DJ, like a really good DJ that plays good music. He was playing from new school, old school, middle school, this, that. I mean, he went all around the genres, and it was very relaxing. It was really, really, really cool. Had a good drink. I had a blueberry lemon martini.
Oh,
it was so good.
now, were you guys seated inside or outside?
We were seated outside. It was a party of maybe 20 of us. It was a lot of us.
Oh, big crowd. Okay.
Yes, it was a long table full of people, and they set us outside, but they had people inside as well. And I was like, it's just good to see people back on the inside of locations. It's just not stacked up chairs and everybody trying to sit outside. So it was fun. We had a really good time. And then of course I worked on the business of Pastrami on the Run. We didn't do too much this weekend. We haven't been promoting it like that because we're just trying to work on the business part because we're trying to get to our ghost kitchen or cloud kitchen right now. So we're doing all of the business, the back end stuff. So when they call us and be like, all right, we ready, we'll be ready.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And believe me, it's a push because I'm a procrastinator by nature. I will wait until the last minute to do some stuff. And I have been pushing myself to do something every day for like the past 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm proud of myself. Like I should have used that as my rave today, but I have another rave. But I'm proud that I push myself because I know I will sit back until I get an email from the people and they'll be like, all right, in 3 days you got to have XYZ, and then I crunch. That's just how I operate. But I don't want to do that because it's a lot of moving parts, and I want to make sure that I get it all done and right.
Right.
And then this weekend it's the twins' birthday. Yay!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, their birthday party, actually, because they are 420 babies. They were born on 420. So when they turn 18, one of them probably be smoking some weed. They're going to have a weed party.
Yeah, don't you put that out. Don't you put that out there.
They're the 420 babies. So they're going to be partying on the 17th on this weekend. And then I'm sure my sister will have something on their actual birthday because that's just who she is. So we're going to do that. That's going to be fun. So can't wait for that. We haven't been able to celebrate like birthdays last year. So this is like, well, where it's out and other people can come over. Not too many people, but other folks will be there. So, and it's going to be at our house in the backyard. So this is the first time we're able to have something. Yeah, so that was it. That's it. That's all, y'all. All right. That's all we got. All right. Let's jump into... Okay. Let's talk about it. So, a couple of things have been going on throughout the week. The past week, DMX passed away. Yeah. So, a lot of tributes are going out to him. A lot of fake stuff is being said. Like it was said that Beyonce and Jay-Z had brought his whole catalog and distributed it amongst his kids. I mean, I don't understand why people do fake stories. And me and my guy, he's told me the story. He's seen it. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. That's cool. But then it turned out to be just a fake story. Like, I don't understand why people have to take their time to write a fake story. Like, why? Why? So, yeah, I mean, another story. I mean, I don't know if this, I don't know. I just seen this. This was like right after he had passed away. They were saying, I don't know where it came from, and I don't know the stories, but I didn't believe it, and I didn't really like the story. But it said that DMX had taken the vaccine maybe 3 days before he had this heart attack, as to blame the vaccine for him having a heart attack. And I'm like, come on, people. Come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. We all know that DMX had situations with drugs. And that's what it was. You know? That's what it was. It's nothing wrong with that. That's just what took him away. You know, it was going to happen sooner or later. But he was a great guy when he was a great guy. And when he was on drugs, he was just on drugs.
And he didn't have a problem with you knowing that.
He sure didn't. He didn't hide it.
We don't have to fake this funk here.
Not at all.
And you know what? He had a lot of demons. You know, he went through a lot in his life. And most people that are addicts have went through some type of trauma. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
And he went through some trauma as a child. He went through something that we couldn't even, Margot, imagine.
Yeah.
You understand? And it's like, it's no wonder, the guy, took his, he did the drug to kind of to soothe and push down those demons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he wasn't ashamed of that. But I can tell you one thing. He had a relationship with Jesus Christ. I tell you that.
He sure does. He sure did. He sure
I
did.
tell you that right.
Yeah.
That made him to pray, and he was very sincere.
Yes.
You know, you can tell a good, sincere prayer.
Yeah.
He really opened up his heart in those prayers, and he meant everything that came out of his mouth.
He did. And you felt it. You felt it when he did his preaching, when he did his prayers, and when he did his raps. He does some serious, heartfelt raps. Like, you sit there and just be like, damn. You could be in a moment and play a DMX and sit there and listen, but like, damn. Okay.
Exactly. You know what I mean? He was not ashamed. He was the realest dude when it came to, his vices.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't no fault of his, you know what I mean? He didn't ask to be born here. But, sometimes, those are the cards we dealt.
Yeah.
You do the best with what you have.
Yeah.
But, sometimes it's hard to cope and deal with that kind of stuff. So people turn to drugs and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't care what nobody says or whatever. Everybody's fight is different.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you don't know what triggers them, or, you can't do nothing about his memories.
Right.
You can't do nothing about the life that he had to live and
right.
stuff. You can't erase that.
Right.
All you do is pray for him, work with him, and keep on pushing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you can't do nothing about that man's pain.
Not at all.
You can't. You can't do nothing. You just really can't.
It is what it is. It's something that he needed to fight until his last breath, and that's what he did. He fought it until his last breath, and he didn't have he didn't bite his tongue about it. He would tell you how he felt. He'd tell you who he didn't want to talk to, who he would talk to, what he was doing, what I smoked, what I did. Oh, well, I'll deal with it. I'll talk to my God, and I'll deal with it. So, he lived a good, in the sense of, he was able to touch a lot of people and rap.
Help a lot of people.
And yeah, he was a great rapper. He was an excellent actor. Like, I just really wish that would have been able to really flourish, because when he did, I can't think of the 2 movies that he did because my memory is not good. But he did a movie with Aaliyah, and he did another movie, and that was just like his debut, and he was awesome. Like, he was just so awesome. And then, life took its course, and he ended up doing, going up another path. But, rest in heaven, dude, and, y'all stop with all this extra lies and stuff.
And I'm just sorry that you had to deal with those type of demons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just very sorry. But out of that, I'm glad we got you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he was very talented. We got to see it. We got to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
We partied to it. You know what I mean? So, it wasn't all bad. And he was a really nice person. And one thing about him, he was honest to to a fault. He was
Right.
just so honest
Right.
about who he was. He wasn't phony.
Right.
He he didn't try to live this, this life, you know what I mean? It was what it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just simple as that. And, that talent was God given, period.
Right.
Especially from somebody that came from his beginnings.
Right.
He came from some very humble beginnings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we shouldn't be smashing on his name or talking about what he did or whatever and stuff like that, because everything that he did that wasn't right, what he did that was right, outshined all that.
Yeah, it does. Exactly. Yep. He was who he was. He did what he did, and it's exactly. Fine. He did it. It's done. But he's done some really great things, so that's all you need to really care about. Because the bad things he did, he gone. So what does it matter?
Yeah,
it don't matter.
And I'm gonna tell you something right now. I bet you God is pleased that every time he opened up and every time he had a show and all them folks was out there and all that crew was on that stage and behind that stage or whatever, he took a minute to do a prayer and had everybody out there crying,
right,
and recognizing Jesus Christ and what he can do and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what did God say for you to do?
Right.
Tell people about me.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
And he had the platform and he did it. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He did it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So rest in heaven, Mr. DMX. I know you're there.
Shit, jamming. He did a lot more than them out there doing stuff now.
Yeah, for real. Really.
Great. Get them to pray about nothing.
Okay. So this week we learned that the vaccine Johnson & Johnson was placed on pause. They said they call it pause. They said it wasn't recall, it was pause, because they found that 6 women after taking the vaccine had blood clots, and one passed away. It was women. It said six cases occurred among women between the ages of 18 and 48, and the symptoms occurred 6 to 13 days after the vaccination. So I was making a joke because I'm a comedian. So I was saying, whenever you have to say something twice, like Johnson & Johnson, like it's always a question. So that's why I didn't want Johnson & Johnson. I didn't want that. It's a question, like what? And you coming in like the little horse at the end of the game, and then you like, oh, but ours is a one shot. Yeah, you should have probably stayed Johnson & Johnson and shot like the other one, so that I like we took the Moderna, right? And I like having the 2 shots so you can get your first dose, see how that feel, let that work through your body and do what it's gonna do, right? And then get the second shot and then see what happens after the days pass. So I know 2 people that did get the Johnson & Johnson, females that got the Johnson & Johnson, but they've passed that period and they're fine. So I was like, because I found out yesterday, I was like, oh, now they. She was like, no, we fine. She said, but when we was looking at the news, like, okay, what?
Yeah, that was kind of tricky. After 2 companies came out and said, we're going to do 2 shots within 28 days, 30-day period or whatever.
Yeah.
And they got Johnson & Johnson coming in and saying that it's a one-shot deal.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of suspect. Just a little bit.
Yeah. If 2 is saying 2, then you gonna come out and be like, we gonna do 1. We got you in 1. No. I need you to go on and let some people get it and see what happened. Then some stuff happened. So no, I wouldn't have took that one. I don't.
I would. That wouldn't have been very comfortable. No, I wouldn't have took that one either, Margot. I wouldn't chew on that one. But what I did learn today too was that for these vaccines that we have taken, we're gonna have to get boosters on those every year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like a flu shot. Like a flu shot, we have to get. That's fine. I mean, it is. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. You either get the vaccine, maybe something to happen or not, or you don't get the vaccine, maybe something to happen or not. It's not a. It's not a big deal. I wanted to get the shot because I want to go out. I want to do things. I want to be around people. You know, I want to do my comedy and know that if I'm switching the mic back and forth, I'm a little bit more immune to if somebody had it, you know, and I'm going back and forth with a mic, you know, or being around people in the crowd. I still wear my mask. I'm not playing with that.
Yeah. Continue to wear your mask, but you are 94% covered.
See? So I feel comfortable with knowing that. Now, I mean, if I get sick, I get sick, but I'm 94% covered. So I feel a lot better. And now that stuff is opening up, we're able to do shows. Actually, I booked the show on May 7th here in Carson. Yes. So I'm happy. Look, she getting her calendar. She always have her calendar. May 7th. That's a Friday. And I'm looking forward to, you know, it feels so good to be out doing comedy. And that's why I wanted to get my shot. I wanted to get a shot so that I feel more comfortable and not have anxiety over, you know, oh my God, you know, I'm touching the same mic. I'm not using the glove or whatever. So, yeah. So if you got the Johnson & Johnson, I mean, it's 6 women out of 6.8 million people. So
that's just too many.
That's too many. That's too many.
That's too many.
I was about to say, that's not a lot. She said, that's too many. Oh, so just do your research.
They need to go back to the drawing board.
Do your research on that, because I'm good.
But no, happen now that it's out. Nobody's gonna want it, even if they say that they worked out the kinks.
You right.
They
had Johnson & Johnson had their chance and they blew it. That's gone. No. They're not gonna trust. Nobody's gonna trust that one.
They might as well forget about it.
Yep, they're not gonna trust it. So for the ones that's already skeptical, then here you come like, oh, we gotta put a pause on that and then check out some stuff. Okay, now you can use it. It's okay. It's good. No, they ain't going for that. People ain't going for that. So
yeah,
you might as well hang it up and get some more of that other Moderna and Pfizer and whatever else we need out there. That ain't it. That ain't it, y'all. So that officer that shot Dante Wright with the thought that she pulled the taser. Is that a taser? She thought she pulled her taser, but she pulled her gun. She is going to be charged with 2nd-degree manslaughter. That's what they say.
Which is a very weak one.
Yes. The lady has been on the force for a while. So if she didn't know her taser from her gun, she shouldn't have never been on the force anyway.
Or a trainer. She was a trainer. She shouldn't have been training anybody to do anything if she could tell the difference of the weight of those guns and that taser. You're absolutely right. There's no reason for her.
26 years. She's been on the police department 26 years.
Yeah.
And she resigned, and so did the chief of police. He resigned. That still don't make you, not guilty. Yeah, and responsible. And they can sue your ass.
Committed murder.
Committed murder. So
and she went. Yeah, you're right. She went to jail, and she posted her bail. Mm-hmm. So she's out.
Yep. So.
But they booked her.
It's just so sad because it's like not going away. Like it's just really not going away. It's just like every week is something. Like even the next story that I'm going to talk about with the U.S. Army sergeant in South Carolina confronted a black man because he was walking down the freaking street. Like, what is your problem? What is the problem? I don't get it. I mean, we are in 2021. We are not back in those days when, you could tell us and yell out, what the fuck you doing walking on my street? No, I can go wherever I want to go. The heck? I can walk down the street.
It's not your street,
It's
sir.
not. You don't own it.
It belongs to the city.
Yes. You don't know if I lived. You don't know if I just moved around the corner and I'm walking around and looking at the neighborhood and then I see you. I'm glad I don't live near you. You don't know if he is a friend over there or he just happened to be walking down the street He don't have to know nobody over there. Y'all on that? He can walk down the freaking street. Oh, it's just like so sad that you have to keep seeing these same stories, the same report every week. There was another young man that got shot. I can't find the name of the guy. I'm so sorry, because I was going across some of this stuff, and he was a younger guy, and he put his hands up. He's a Hispanic dude.
Oh,
you see that
was
one?
in Chicago. That was in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah.
He put his hands up, and he got shot.
Girl, he was a baby.
Yeah, he was a baby. And clearly he didn't like go to his jacket and then put his hands up. No, he put his hands. They told him do whatever. Stop. Put your hands up. He put his hands up, and the next thing you see, he falling on the ground. I'm like, well, dang.
And they're not happy. And that gentleman was not African American.
He wasn't.
No, ma'am. Mm-mm. He had dark hair.
He looked like he was Hispanic.
I thought his mother too. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but what are you gonna say about that one?
Right. It's just I don't get it.
I mean, that one was like gut wrenching. Yeah. I was like, that's a little boy. He wasn't even. He like a preteen. Yeah. I'm like, y'all need to control yourself. Like, what? Ooh,
you
Lord.
can't walk down the street. You got the sergeant yelling out at you, saying crap. What you said? His wife was talking shit too. Like, get that.
Keep on walking.
They said he in the wrong neighborhood. Get out of here.
It's awful. You need some help? Getting out of here? Really?
Like, who are you talking to? And what? I don't know. I just don't get it. You were saying how the residents and people have went and stood up in front of his house or something.
There was a whole bunch of folks that showed up in front of his house.
That's good.
You know, a whole bunch of black folks showed up in front of his house. They arrested him.
Good.
He went to jail. They say that his commanding officer, they want to speak to him. Then he's going to be they're pretty sure he's going to be demoted. And they had to relocate the man's family, him and his family. He posted bail too as well. So they had to relocate his family because of all the people that have showed up in front of his house. You know,
right.
Yelling, screaming at him and asking them to come out and let's talk about what happened today. And, you know, I guess they got scared. I guess they couldn't do it. But see, you just have to be careful.
Right.
You have to be careful. You can't treat people any kind of way and don't think that something's not going to come back or whatever. You know, what was your reasoning for bullying that poor man and treat him that way?
Right.
Now it's like it's a little different when the rabbit got the gun, right?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Wow.
You know, it's like, you know, what was the purpose of that? What was the purpose? And it wasn't even your fight. You and your wife came outside because he was talking to another woman, and she was asking him what was he doing in the neighborhood and blah 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 blah. And it was going back and forth. Then they jumped into it. You guys had no business jumping into that.
Right.
Now look what happened. Your lives have been changed.
Yep, because you had to open your fat lips and say something. Like, you just couldn't be sitting in your house watching TV on your couch. No, you seen a black person walking, you had to jump up. Woo, what is he doing over here? What?
Exactly.
Fucking nosy asses. Just, what are you doing?
And look, your life has been changed.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that white lady that he was talking to, she went back in her house and sat down and went in there and cooked her dinner. And nothing happened to her.
Right.
You know what? It wasn't even your fight. It wasn't even your thing at all.
Right.
But you came out there with your chest poked out. Mm-hmm. You're trying to prove a point to your wife.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And look where they got you.
Yep. Now you being
Stop
relocated.
You guys need to cut it out.
Yeah. Now you running for your life. Now you scared. Oh my God, they're all in front of my house. Yeah, you called us when he did the call. Hoo-dee-hoo, and we all came running and we was in front of your house. Now what? Now it's 1 million of us. Now what? Who do you want out of your neighborhood? Just like, what do you want? Like, I can't get
it. I just really like to know, why do they think that it's okay and it's necessary to treat people that way.
Right.
I mean, any kind of people. I'm talking about the blacks. I'm talking about the Hispanics. I'm talking about the Asian population. They always get it in their heads that they can go and just terrorize any group of people when they feel like
it.
Why do you guys feel that
Why
way?
do you feel? I know it's in your blood. I know. We know. There now it's in everybody's blood. But some people, most people know how to control it, and they are not that way, or they learn and they don't. They weren't taught that. But then there's this whole group of people that this nastiness and racism and everything has been inbred in them, and it's in their kids, it's in them, it's in their grandparents, great-greats, and all that, and they just cannot contain themselves. They just have to show this feeling about whatever all the time. You can't sit down and be quiet or not let that bother you. Like that, nobody's talking to you. Why? Just why? They just get on my nerves. What are you doing?
It's just really unbelievable.
So,
what do they get out of this? Why do you have to just act out?
Right.
And do these things or whatever. And do you really feel like it's okay?
Right.
Do you really feel like it's okay?
Right.
I really wonder. Now, you have to see, different cultures at your supermarket, at your schools, at your jobs, and everything. I bet you half of those people don't even know that when you get home, how you act towards other races.
Yep, you turn into a demon. Because you have to work with them.
At work.
No, you're not working in an all-white environment. You're not even living in an all-white environment. So, I don't know. I don't get it. Look, speaking of white folks, Madonna got gangster on a Karen. It was a Karen that...
Was it a Karen?
It was, and her name was Karen. The lady name actually is Karen. So...
Yeah.
From the Shade Room, it said Madonna claps back at a Karen for criticizing her message about gun control, and in quotes, Madonna said, "Come see me and tell it to my face." That sounds like a song. Come see me and tell it to my face. She should make a song. So let's see. The lady name, like I said, is Karen. And so what she said is, I will bet you have people with guns to protect you and your family, but the little people can be left unarmed. If you take guns away from criminals, they will always have a weapon. The rest of us innocent people will be victims. You leave behind walls and protection. You do not live in the real world. So Madonna was not feeling her message, and she shared a few words of her own. She said, "Bitch, I don't have security or armed guards around me. Come see me and tell me to my face how not real world is. I dare you. You know nothing about me or my life. The only criminals I see right now are the police, who are paid to protect the people. The police are protected by judges and criminal justice system, which is a joke because there is no justice if you are a person of color. Of course, your name is Karen." She clapped back at her. Oh my God. I mean, and here, Karen, her name is Karen. Just shut up. Like, why did you even have to chime in on what she was talking about? You want to say, "Oh, well, you're protected and you're this and you're that." She's like, "No, I'm not." But what I do see is the police are not protecting people; they're killing people. So that's why people want to have guns or whatever.
And who has armed guards at their house?
Armed guards. She's like, "I don't have no guards. Come see me, girl. Come see me. Come see me. Come check on me and see if I have armed guards." So I'm like, "Go ahead, Madonna. Tell them what you got to say. Tell them what you got to say, Madonna."
While we're on the lines of talking about Karens and injustice acts on my soapbox today, I was just thinking about, I had read this story and it was just like, it kind of came around full circle, but I wanted to share it. It was this lady. Her name is forgot her first name. Her last name is Horn, out of Buffalo, New York. 15 years ago, her and her partner were out policing. She's a police officer, and he had got into a little scuffle, and they had handcuffed the criminal. And what her partner proceeded to do was to start choking him while he was cuffed. So she intervened, okay, and said, no, put him away. And they kind of got into it a little bit and everything. She ends up getting terminated from the police force, losing her pension and everything.
Wow.
And she had been there. She had been up there over 15 years. Anyway, he turned around and sued her for $65,000 because he said that it was some type of defamation of character or something that she said that she had supposedly had done to him. He ended up getting a promotion on the police force and a raise. Of course, that comes with the raise.
Of course.
And so she lost her job. Wow. Pension, everything. Last week, a judge said that she needs 15 years of back pay because she shouldn't have been fired. She needs 15 years of back pay from the police force, and her pension needs to be reinstated. And the gentleman that was her partner that sued her and got a promotion and a raise, he's in jail right now.
Wow.
He's in jail because I guess he got a big head and he continued to act crazy out there in them streets like he was indispensable and he was Billy Badass. And he got some charges and there was nothing they could do about it. And he sits in a jail cell today.
Wow.
They ruined that lady's life for saving a life.
A life, right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it was like she got in trouble and he got promoted. She lost her pension and everything for 15 years.
That's crazy.
15 years. And that happened in Buffalo, New York.
That's crazy.
A black. They should have somebody on the force like that, like those three guys that would be that man who had his knee on Floyd's neck.
Right.
They didn't even have the guts, the heart
to tell him to get the fuck up. Get up.
All three of them put together.
Right. Trainee, no trainee.
Right. To have the heart of that one black woman.
Yeah. Exactly.
In Buffalo, New York, 15 years ago. It always take a woman to do the fucking man's job.
Yep.
It's sad to see that she gave a damn.
Yeah.
You know, those three men that were on Floyd's back, his legs, his butt, everything holding him down while that other man has knee in his neck, none of them had the heart to push that man off his neck or say, you guys, this ain't right. Come on, move, whatever.
Right.
None of them had the heart to do it.
Nope.
They shouldn't be on the police force.
Not at all.
Because now they all went to jail. They're going to have court cases and everything like that because none of you guys had a heart. Who are you protecting and serving?
Right. Exactly.
I'm just like, every time I look up, it's what? It's a whole bunch of women doing everything. It's just like these dudes don't even care. That's why a lot of people on the force, when they see these bad cops, they don't speak up. They don't say nothing because what happened to Miss Horn in Buffalo, New York was a real situation. And they know that those things happen in these precincts and things, right? So that's why they don't say nothing.
Right.
Some of them, they end up quitting.
Lose their job,
I'm an ex-police officer because they got their ass out of here because they knew that no matter what happened, that those guys were going to be protected.
Yep.
You know, for all the bad stuff that they do all the time, it's going to be swept under the rug. The judge is going to be covering it up.
Yeah.
The lawyer is going to be covering it up. And those guys never get better. They run amok throughout the whole city.
Yeah.
You know, and smart people end up saying, I don't want this. I don't want this career. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
This shit is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But some of them, they got to have that. They got to have that adrenaline pumping. They got to go out there and they got to do these things or whatever. You know, they need to be sitting up doing drug tests on these folks.
Yeah, because they all...
That's what they need to be doing.
In some mental situations. I know they go through psychiatric, but I don't know. They just push them on through. Because it got to be something.
They really need to do something because the cities are going to be broke paying these lawsuits out to these families and stuff for these officers, you know, not protecting and serving like they should.
Right.
But getting caught up in all these cases. The city is going to be broke.
Yeah.
These different cities are going to be broke from paying these millions and millions of dollars to these families. Because what they don't think about is you don't know who's up there in the window. You don't know who's passing by in a car. You don't know who's walking down the street. That's gonna get everything on tape, whether you have that camera on your shirt on or not.
Right.
Somebody gonna get that.
Somebody always sees you. That's my thing. It don't matter how you think that you think you by yourself. Somebody sees you.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Somebody will always see what's going on.
It's just awful. But you know, it took a woman. It took a woman to stand up. She lost her job. She didn't care. She just like whatever. Turned around and had to pay the guy that was getting ready to choke this other dude out. Had to pay him $65,000 because he's on defamation of character.
Right.
Really?
Right.
Okay, when you guys pay me back all my money, I want that $65,000. I had to pay that nut job.
Exactly.
That y'all got sitting in jail now too.
That y'all made me pay because y'all believed his dumb ass.
Exactly.
So throw that in there with the money that y'all owe me for the 15 years that I've been off.
Yeah. Because y'all was protected. Y'all was protected with your boys. I want that money too.
Right. Yeah.
And you know what? My pay ain't enough. My pension ain't enough. I want to sue for all that stuff that I had to go through for 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. She still mentally and physically had to go through some stuff because she couldn't say nothing. What about
stuff that you guys said about her in the papers and everything?
Yeah. Embarrassed. Who had defamation? She had defamation for sure.
And then I had to turn around and look at myself because I thought I was doing the right thing.
Right. Right.
And you telling me you didn't? You guys gonna have to, run me my money.
Okay. Run me my money. Give a lady her money. That's good. That's a good story because you don't. That's not the norm. That's not the norm. You know, they just continue. People do the right thing and then still just get like railroaded, and then they just go off into the sunset somewhere, and we never hear about them anymore. So that's good.
The people that, try to do something right, go against the grain and stuff like that, and not coming to the side just because the sake of the side. Talking about blue lives. Okay, but you put on that suit, you're blue. Well, no, I'm not.
No.
Right is right and wrong is still wrong.
Yeah.
Regardless of what color you got on or what color skin you have.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right is right and wrong is wrong. So that's what we should be standing on. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, okay, if you go against us, we coming after you. After you know you did something wrong.
Right. Yep.
That's what they're talking about right now, that the sheriff department ain't nothing but a gang.
Right.
With these tattoos and stuff like that. These guys are running mugs.
Right.
You know, out there in our communities and stuff. And then they gonna threaten you. You know, it's hard. That's why a lot of people talk about reform. They need to just start over from the bottom and just, have it a level playing field.
Yeah, figure it out. And roll
start
it
doing
out.
some different kind of training.
Yeah.
And, do some things differently because what they've done in the past has not worked.
Nope, not at all.
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
But that's
your soapbox. I just
Thanks
had.
for listening.
She said, "Thanks for listening, y'all." She's gotten off her soapbox. I actually had a rave this week. I didn't even know if I was going to have a rant or a rave, but earlier today, this right before we got on here, a commercial had came on for a documentary that came out on FX. It was on Hulu that I watched it on. It's called Hysterical, and it's about women comedians and the things that they had to deal with, being in a male-dominated field, which is comedy. It's usually all men. And when you go to a comedy show, you see mostly men, and then you may see one or two women, because it's a male-dominated career. And so they have these women. Let me see. It was Sherry Shepherd was on there. Marina Franklin, she's a black stand-up comedian. Judy Gold and Jessica Kirsten. Some of these people I haven't heard of. Rachel Feinstein I've heard of before. Margaret Cho, of course. And then they had what's her name with the red hair? What's her name? She was holding the Trump head.
Oh yeah,
I see her face. I see her face. They had her on there, and they just were talking about a lot of. It was a couple of female comedians. Amy Schumer was on there, but they were just talking about from how a childhood that they knew they were probably funny. Like they did it in stages, so it was talking about childhood. So most of the comedians had very hard childhoods. Either they were overweight or they were gay and they didn't know it. They were different things were happening to them. So that kind of like built their character or whatever of wanting to do stand up. And I was like looking like I had a good childhood, but I know where my comedy came in is through my relationship with my husbands or whatever, that's going through divorce, going through relationships. It wasn't through my childhood growing up. I had a good childhood. It was once I turned into an adult, different things that happened in my life created my comedy, So it was really good. It was a really good documentary. It showed how they were treated. They were treated like women, and I'm putting quotes like women, like they would some comedians some female comedians got raped while they go out on the road by other comedians or other people.
What?
Yeah. They said they would get, because they would have to go on the road. And so they're a female by themselves. When you go on the road, you're not going with a group of people. It's just you as a comedian, female comedian, like you're going to work. That's your job. That's what you're going to go do. So you don't have like a whole group of people. It's just you. And then they put them up in these little seedy hotels. Sometimes they put them in hotels with other male comedians. And she's like, okay, I'm here in this room. And while they're out there bringing home waitresses and doing little different things. And I'm like, yeah. But see, that was back then with comedy. It's a lot different now, which is, I'm glad that it is. Especially now with, COVID. Now, I can go on to the at Flappers Comedy, but I can do it like on a Zoom. So they do like a lot of Zoom things, which I don't like. But, if I want to do an audition for a Comedy Store or Flappers or the Laugh Factory, I can actually do it on Zoom right now. Back in the days, you had to go actually and stand at that place, go to the, go up a whole bunch of times before somebody really noticed who you are. But with social media and all this different stuff that we got now, people can recognize you and see you do comedy more than what they could then. Right. They had to actually go. I mean,
it's a different exposure.
It is a different exposure. Mm-hmm. And so it was really good. I mean, to see the different things that they as coming up as female comedians, what they had to endure in order to become who they are. And they were Kathy Griffin, that's her name, Kathy Griffin. She was on there, and she got in all that big trouble when she did the Trump head that was bloody. But then her attorney, which was Gloria Allred's daughter, what's her name, Julie Bloom or somebody? Bloom. Gloria Allred's daughter, who's also attorney. she sat there and she was like, okay, well, look at this band who has Trump like shot in the head with the face pulled off. Look at this, all these different men who have defaced or did something terrible to the image of Trump and nothing happened to them. So why all of a sudden, because she's a female, you guys are trying to destroy her and just like, you know, she got blackballed. She said she had 25 shows scheduled. As soon as that happened, all 25 of them shows in a matter of minutes called her and told her, we're canceling you. Like, wow. That's just like so unfair. But that's what happens when you're a woman in a male-dominated situation, and just like the boys can be boys, it's okay. But when you do it, it's just like a whole situation. So right. I felt bad for her when it happened, and even when she was talking about it. But she said some of the female comedians, like I just said her name, I forgot. But they did like a video, and then they sent it to her. She said that was like the most thing that she held on to, because she was like, oh my God, I just thought everybody hated me. I just thought everybody just hated my guts because that happened. But when Amy Schumer and some other female comedians, they were all in the car, and they was like, you know, we're rooting for you, we love you, this, that, whatever. And she said that like really helped her. Like, I didn't do nothing wrong. Like, I'm a comedian. Like, why are you trying to silence a comedian? Like, we find the funniest things out of the craziest things. I'm a comedian. Like, I didn't.
And there were a lot of comedians out there making Trump jokes.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because she visually had something, but all the other men things that they show, they visually had stuff too. But y'all didn't tell them that they couldn't have no more concerts. Mm-mm. You didn't tell the people that they couldn't tell no more jokes. The guys that were saying stuff. So why you had to do that to her? So, right. I mean, it's. You know, it's a game that we all have to play, and I enjoy having comedy. I enjoy doing comedy, as y'all know, and I enjoy performing and everything. And I, knock on wood, have not ran into any crazy stuff, and I hope not to. But you know, it's just good to see, you know, where it was and how it is, you know, coming down, how it is now. So it was a very good little story.
That's so bad, though. I mean, you know, and it's true. I mean, you know, that's what happens to women, you know, all the time, everywhere. It's just really crazy. It's just such a double standard all the time.
Yeah.
And then got to go back and clean up their mess.
Yep. Exactly. One of the female comedians, she just started doing comedy. I don't know what year. Believe me, my memory is so bad, but. She, what's his name? Winehouse. Winehouse? Is that his name? No, or that's not Winehouse. What's his name? I'm thinking about Weinstein.
Ooh.
Weinstein. He was in the audience, and this is when the Me Too movement had just happened. So it was already ladies saying, you know, that he did something to them. So this is her first time, like, really on stage in front of people, and she noticed him in the crowd, in the audience. And so when she was standing at the bar, she was like, whoa, is that Weinstein? And the lady was like, yeah. She was like, should I or shouldn't I? Like, should I say something about it or not? And she said it was a lady that was standing next to her, like with her cocktail or whatever. And she said, no, you shouldn't say anything. And so that made her want to say something even more. She said, okay. So when she got up there, she made a comment, you know, something. She's like, she said she had got raped before, and then she started off saying, "Okay, you guys, I know you want to talk about the elephant in the room, so I guess I'll talk about it." And so she started making reference to him, and then she started saying that she was raped 5 years ago, and then she made like a joke or something about it, and so they started booing her. They booed her. The men booed her. So it's probably some people that he was with. All you heard was the boos. And then you heard some women voices come out like, yeah! They start clapping and yelling and screaming. And that was actually on the news. And that's what helped catapult her comedy career. Because she went in and she She gave it to him. Like, I don't care who you are. I'm a comedian. I'm going to say what I have to say. You brought yourself up in a comedy club and didn't think nobody's going to say nothing about you. So here I am. And it ended up being on the news. And so people know her because she had did that to him.
Right. And you know what? She had a story.
She did.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And why are you sitting down there anyway?
Right. Why are you here? You should
Why are you here?
Embarrassed right now. You should be hiding. Yeah.
So.
So I was like, that they did some really good stories on female comedians, and I enjoyed that. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So that's on Hulu. It's called Hilarious, or FX. It's called not Hilarious. I keep calling it Hilarious. Hysterical. It's called Hysterical.
I may watch that tomorrow.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good little watch. I don't have no reality takeaways because I'm boycotting them right now. Well, of course I'm watching them.
Why are you boycotting?
They be working my nerves. Of course I watch them. I do still watch them, but I'm not reporting anything because it's like dumb. It's just like,
oh really? Okay.
Whatever. I'm just be like, whatever. I can't. You guys are just dumb. But I did start watching a movie on it's a series on Prime, and it's called Them, 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 like Us, like the movie Jordan Peele made, but it's called Them, and it is produced or directed, I don't know, by Lena Waithe. So it is it's good. I'm not just going to give you a little bit. I'm not going to tell you all of it, but like the premise of it is a black family that moved from, I think, North Carolina. Don't quote me because it's forgetful. I think from North Carolina back in the like 1940s. No, not even 50s. They moved from there, maybe like in the 30s or something, and then they are here in California because the husband is an engineer. He's a black engineer. He's the only black engineer. So they called him. Something tragic happened in North Carolina with their son. Period. I'll just leave it that way. And so they wanted to get out of that area. And then so he got the call from California saying that, we have an opening here at this plant for an engineer. Do you want to move here? And he was like, yes. So they moved to East Compton, where it is all white. Not predominantly, all white. And they're the only black family. When they brought this house, I'm putting in quotes, in the contract, it says that you will never own this house if you have Negro blood. And that's a clause that's on the contract. And so the wife looked at it like, what? Like, what is yours? The lady, the salesman was like, oh, that don't matter. And she crossed it out. She was like, that's, the old way. That's not how it is now. But there is something living in that house. And it's spooking all of them. It's just really weird. It's really just weird to describe. But the white families are trying to drive these folks out of their neighborhood. They put little black dolls, hung them up all around their house. They burned some stuff into their grass, N-word, this, that, whatever. So they're trying to run them out of the house. But they're not leaving. But they have some other quirky stuff that's happening to them, like, personally. And I don't know what that is. I haven't finished it yet. It's 10 episodes. I think I'm on, like, 4 or 5. I can't binge watch nothing. Because I don't have that attention span. Because I'll be doing something else. So, hopefully by next week, Mary's shaking her head because she don't like them kind of movies.
I do scary movies. I don't do scary movies. And something like that, ain't nowhere in the world I can sit there and watch that.
It is really...
There's no way in the world. Especially because, it's bad enough, they don't want them in the neighborhood and they're black and it's a white situation and all that kind of stuff. But then knowing that there is another situation going inside the house.
Yes.
No way, no how.
Yep. It's
yeah,
like
I don't like thrillers. I don't like scary movies. I cannot watch them.
I love it. I love it.
Can't do it.
But I can't watch all them episodes like all 10. My guy can. He sit there. He will watch. He go to bed early. But if it's something that catches his attention, he'll sit there and he'll watch all the episodes. I can't.
Wow.
I can't do it. I just really can't.
Like I can binge watch something all day. I can binge watch something all day. But I mean, a scary movie I'm not gonna watch. Period. But that sounds very interesting. That sounds very good.
It is
good. For those that like those kind of movies.
Yeah. Not for the people that don't like scary movies or suspense movies. It's not.
You know what? I did see that advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
And like, ain't no way. You know what? I turned my face. I'm like, oh no, I waited till that something went off to turn back and look at the TV because Margot, the advertisement looks scary.
Yep, it is. It is.
I'm like,
that's what caught my attention. I was like,
and then I saw. Did this come on yet? When the black lady's out there and she ended up slapping that white woman?
Yes, she did. She sure did. She slapped that lady. That's it. That lady. I'm gonna tell you. The black lady is walking her daughter home from school because her daughter is seeing this thing, and she started blurting out some stuff. So she had to go pick up her daughter from school, and she's walking. She's like, "Why were you saying that? Where did you hear that phrase from?" And so then the white family had drove past, and they just was staring at them as they were walking. Here come the white lady from across the street. She called her the N-word, and she told her daughter, "Stay right here on the porch." And she went over there. She walked up there to her, and she smacked her. And she walked right back, and her daughter said, "That's right, Mama."
What?
Because they have been terrorizing this black family, and the one she slapped is like the ringleader of the terrorizing.
Oh,
so
okay.
You know, she's been trying to hold it together. The black lady has been trying to hold it together. She ran out of the house with a gun. They called the police on her. The police came over and was, doing what they do. And then one of the white boys was in her backyard peeing on her sheet she put up on the line. So she done chased him out the yard, and all the white people looking at her like, "Oh my God, she's chasing Timmy. She had the stick in the hand that the little boy dropped because he picked up a stick and started swinging it at her. She a grown ass woman. You swinging a stick at me?" So she did something. He dropped it and he started running. So she chased him with it. Chased him down the street to his mama house, and all the white people looking like, "Oh my God, did you chase Timmy? Why are you chasing Timmy?" It's a black lady after her. So it's like a couple of things that's happening. I haven't figured it all out yet. So hopefully by this weekend I'll have it all done.
Girl, you let me know.
Okay.
Because I sure won't be watching.
All right, y'all.
I will not be watching it.
I'm going to watch it for you.
Okay. I appreciate that.
So we don't have a soapbox, so we will just round it on down, y'all. We already an hour in. So thank you guys for listening to episode 91 of Just Being Me podcast. And we will be here next week.
Yes, we will.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Yes.
Y'all be safe out there. Don't be intimidated and just do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's it.
Have a good week.
All right, y'all. Peace.